Thoughts can change your life. With me, Rev Lee. I'm grateful you came this morning to listen, to explore with me. So here's a question that came up for me today that I've been hearing from a lot of people. And the question is, why am I not abundant? Well, first off, I think it's important to understand that limitation and lack are not things. They're not things. They're a way of belief. It's just as easy to believe in abundance and affluence as it is lack. But what has happened is we've been conditioned. We've been domesticated. We've been brainwashed into believing there is lack. It probably started off when you were a child back in your home with your mom and your dad. My parents, Lee, money doesn't grow on trees. Lee, you got to work really, really hard and you'll just be able to make ends meet. Unless you're lucky, Lee. But chances are you're not going to be lucky. You're not going to be that. You weren't born for that. You were born to suffer because that's the way of a good Catholic. That's how I was brought up. I changed that. I got out of that mold. I became this Lee you see. Am I abundant? Yes, I am. Could I be more abundant? Yes. Why could I be more abundant? Because I still have training wheels on. Don't we all have training wheels on? So it's all about building a belief of a greater and greater and greater and greater abundance. And so let me come back to that because a lot of you say, well, I believe it, I believe it, I believe it. Then I'm going to ask the question, are all of your thoughts, words, feelings, and actions, did you hear the word actions, aligned with that? Are you acting as an abundant person would act? You say, well, yeah, I feel it. No, acting abundantly means there are ways of being in the world that abundant people do. One of them is they save and invest first. So you got to look in the mirror and ask yourself the question, do I save and invest first or do I spend? How many of you out there are consumers? And being a consumer is the most important thing to you. You can't wait to consume. In reality, I know it's difficult not to consume. So here's my simple tip. Automate your investing, automate your savings, automate your giving, automate your paying of bills. So the first thing that happens for me is when I get money, a percentage of it is automatically automated to invest and save. Another amount of money is automated to give. I give where I'm being fed. Because I understand that if I hoard, I'm saying to the universe, what? There's not enough. Now, you don't just give and with the blind thing. No, you give a certain amount. I'm a believer that everything in life has value, and you give for that value. Wealthy people give. Wealthy people tip good. Restaurants are like that. When Gene and I are in a restaurant, we realize that those servers, waiters and waitresses, they get a small amount of money and then everything's on tips. And we talk to them up front. Give us great service, we'll give you a great tip. It's nothing for us to give 25, 30% tip if we get good service. Abundant people know that the greater amount of service they give into the world to greater and greater numbers of people, more will come back to them. So then you ask the question, if I'm going to be abundant, then I've got to know what my gift is. And if I know what my gift is, I got to find a way to serve greater and greater and greater numbers of people. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be an entrepreneur. You could be in the corporate world and you've got talents. How can you maximize those talents and make sure that you're giving more and more people in that corporate world the benefit of your talents? Money will come. It always does. Promotions will come. My parents, when I was born and raised, my dad was a fireman. My mother was an immigrant. We were the We lived on the poor side of town. If I had not changed, if I had not built a new belief, that's where I would live. I do not live on the poor side of town. I live on the affluent side of town. I live in an affluent community. It's a choice. Did you just hear what I said? It may have rubbed you the wrong way. It's a choice. You say, no, Lee, I'm a victim. No, you just have a belief. You have a belief that you don't even realize you have that's unconscious. Now it's time to build a new belief that you are abundant and that the universe is there to fulfill whatever you believe. And I come back to the definition of a belief. A belief are your thoughts, words, actions, and feelings aligned toward a specific result, held persistently and consistently, consciously and unconsciously. That's a mouthful. But a belief is something that is known in you at the core of all that you are. There is no doubt. There's pure faith. There's pure knowing. Do you have that belief? If not, and you want it, it's time to build it, because the power to create new beliefs is there with you. That's your power. Build the beliefs of life that you want, hold on to them, live them, act them, feel them, and don't let anyone tell you you can't have what you want. Why would you give your power to someone who's a naysayer? The only person you should be listening to is you, because you're the only person who knows you and what you truly want, and you're the only person who knows what you're capable of. It's time to step into your big boy and big girl pants. Your abundant, affluent, loving, caring, healthy, harmonious, joy-filled pants. With that, know that I'll be on a little later today doing my Sunday talk. I got a great one today. Nothing changes until you change. Until tomorrow, be abundant, be affluent, live your best life. Aloha.